Another business meeting of the Borough Council, stand for pledge of allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Councilor Long.
Here.
Councilor Ellis.
Present.
Councilor Carpenter. Present. Councilperson Redzak.
Present.
Councilman Flota.
Here.
And Councilperson Benza.
Present.
We have Mayor Goodrow.
Present.
And Chairman Sukup. Present. We also have our solicitor present as well, and our engineer, Matt Fish. Thank you. Are there any additional emergency agenda items? There's no registered comments from the public. We'll go to the comments from the public. At this time, the comments will hear, our council will hear comments on public related items. Please approach the podium or raise your virtual hand. Clearly state your name and address. Limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Sandy for Vicky Bell. 3rd Avenue, Verona. I just need some clarification. I'm a little confused on the difference between block watch alerts and text alerts from the borough. It seems like the block watch alerts are coming through. I'm hearing about closures on different streets, road construction, parking availability. And some of the items, for example, when there was an issue on School Street where police were looking for backup, nothing came through on the block watch, but I'm hearing about the road construction, which I think wouldn't that be a text alert from the borough? So the two things are going to be confused, and that's confusing me on my phone. Which leads me to the strategic management planning program that I had received from Jason that was given to all of you in October of 2024. And in November of 2024, I asked you where council was on all those things lining up and never received any kind of input from council. So tricky to understand this, and I've been reading it numerous times since I received it from Jason. And one of the things that is on goal 5 is about the different things that the finance committee was to report on. The evaluating and ranking capital projects, the repairing capital projects, identifying source funds, preparing a CIP document with spreadsheets and narratives. And this is all coming through as nothing to report by council from meeting after meeting and month after month. I was just wondering, where does this fall? Because one of the things under goal 5 is for community-wide messaging systems can be installed at a minimal cost to municipal operations. Residents can sign up online to receive text messages or emails concerning safety issues, community events, or information in the borough broadcasts to its residents. It's not happening. And this really isn't new business. I've been up here to say to council before, what is the purpose of the text alerts? The only thing we receive are the 2 meetings that council's going to help hold every month. We don't hear about any other meetings. Yeah, you say it at the business meeting and the workshop meeting that it sure would be nice to receive it via text alert. So I don't know how much taxpayers are paying for this. I don't know who's responsible for putting out these text messages. There were 3 nice events that Verona held in October. The October 18th was some sort of Wizard of Oz thing, and then the 23rd there was something going on for Halloween. The 25th there and no text alerts came up. So where is the difference between the block watch alerts and the borough text alerts? Mayor, when you had that meet and greet at the firehouse a couple months ago, I was under the impression the block watch was for crime and safety. I don't think parking and sewer lines and stuff was part of that issue. When I get it across my phone, so. If somebody could please explain to me the difference, who's responsible for the text alerts, how much is this costing taxpayers, I would really appreciate.
The text alerts come from the office, from the, right. And the block watch goes from through Tom
No,
to,
it'll be Morford, she sends it out.
yeah, but you send it to her, correct?
Some things, yeah.
Something, okay. So Obi and Jeff send out the block watch stuff.
I understand all that, but like. But who's telling her to send out about the sewers and the parking and, I mean, if that's.
Some of that's coming for me, yes.
I mean, it's just very, very confusing.
I'm not sure to answer you. I'm not really sure who gives all the information that comes into the office, I think, through the phone system and they pass it out through there. I really don't know. I just get the same things you get.
I think that, yeah, those two different entities, so to speak.
Yeah.
The Block Watch and the boroughs, phone calls. A lot of people aren't on the Block Watch, a lot of people aren't on the boroughs, receiving end of the phone calls or text messages. And I think, in the past, it's been that the borough manager will send, hey, maybe you want to send this out to your group of people that they're going to be doing construction on such and such street. And the borough sends it out, and so does she, being Obi, will send it out. I mean, it might sound confusing, but I think that's actually the way it, kind of works. They both send them out for people that may not get one or the other, if that makes any sense.
One's much more grassroots in the community than one's the official borough sanctioned one with the Curtis, right? It's not Savage, it's Curtis, the one that Curtis does.
No, well, it's not Curtis anymore.
Savage says.
My text
The
gov,
new one, yeah.
text my gov.
The ones that the official borough one and the ones that grassroots one that the community is involved in with the chief and other folks.
If
And
I
there will be
can,
overlap.
if I can clarify something. What she puts out, she gets from my Facebook, from the department's Facebook page, so it's nothing new. It's just for the people that don't have social media, they're getting the information in old school.
So actually, it goes out 3 different times. On Facebook, through the Block Watch and through the borough, where someone who may not have one or the other. That
And I
would be
think
my.
what Sandy's asking also is some of the stuff that isn't even getting on there.
Right.
Some of the activities, why aren't they?
Right.
Yeah.
Who's responsible for, would it be, the manager, would it be the committee people, the chairman of the committee to get a hold of the manager or Obi?
I'm just thinking that you're right, because now there's the 4th one, which be the Chamber of Commerce. So there's 4 entities that,
And people.
people,
Yeah.
that would actually have to go out.
Right,
So I understand what you're saying. We need to get together and everybody send it out as, in each entity, I guess. All 4 of them.
I mean, I have it fixed on my phone that it pings me when there's crime and safety. I mean, that's mostly what I'm worried about. That would be the Block Watch.
Right.
But when it's pinging, Block Watch is pinging and I'm hearing about sewers and parking and road construction, it's like, okay, well, that to me is borough business. Why isn't it coming through the borough?
I think they wanna duplicate it so that people who are only on one and not on the other.
It's not something, but we don't get it from the borough. We don't get it. Everybody gets it. The text does not come in from the.
Did you guys re-sign up when they switched it?
I get a text.
I get told about the meetings,
Right.
Nothing else.
I don't get none.
Oh,
the
well,
majority of that.
You know, I'm wondering if we should sit down and figure it out and, you
I
know.
think that would be a fine
Yeah,
idea, Nancy.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sandy. Anybody else?
Judy Williams, 534 Ridge Avenue. I just want to thank the borough and everybody here. You did a wonderful job on South Avenue around our church. It's very, very helpful for our parishioners because they park up along the dentist building. And we actually, a few years ago, had somebody that was like hit by a car and like dragged and all that kind of stuff. And she was pretty messed up, but now that it's fixed and all that kind of stuff, it's easy to walk across. And I mean, normally I would help people across there who are elderly and that. But I do want to thank everybody, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Judy.
Susie Davis, Ridge Avenue. The construction company or the store line people or whatever they're doing. When they were working on First and Center last week. They had the intersection blocked. My buses came up and had to swing very hard and just barely could clear onto First Street. The bus company was not advised, the school was not advised of them being there. And they had traffic snarl really bad. And I asked, where's your flag person? Why don't you have a flagman here? I was there to do my bus for my children. I did my elementary children. I was the flag person, directing traffic around them. And their reasoning was the borough didn't want to pay for flyers. Because they said their contract was wrote up that there's only certain days, certain intersections, certain projects that will get flaggers. Well, I think 1 block away from the school and at a bus stop should have required flaggers. So somebody dropped the ball somewhere. I said, luckily, even in my high school kids were very grateful that I was there because it was such a mass confusion. My bus they couldn't come up Center riding up the upside. Excuse me, the right side of the road. They could travel on the left side of the road from Heron up to me. So I was holding traffic coming down Center, coming across First, so that my bus and other cars, not just my bus, but other cars of the residents using the hills. There was no flagman. Somebody dropped the ball somewhere.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Mayor?
Yeah, I just got a couple of quick things. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to any veterans out there and that's watching. I know the chief's a veteran and Dawn Worf's a veteran, and anybody else is I missed, here or on Zoom. I apologize, but thank you for your services and thank all the veterans. And a couple of things here I have is like to recognize that Sergeant Francos and Sergeant Blake's a retirement, and we're going to give them retirement badges. They won't be in for about 2 months, and then I'll ask both of them to come down and formally give them to each of them. And the other thing is the Greek Orthodox Church on Sunday had First Responder Day. I believe this was the second one that they had.
This was
The second one. Yeah, and it was very nice. And I was invited also, and Mayor Sophia Bakaris was also there, and they had a nice little luncheon for everybody. And she had called myself and Ray the other day, and the church raised some money, and they gave donation not only to the fire department, which Dan, I guess you have, and the police department, and it's from the Greek church, the donation of $138 to not only the Verona Police, Oakmont Police, Verona Fire Department, and the Oakmont Fire Department. So we're grateful for that. So we thank them. I'll give us the Jason. And that's all I have at this time.
Thank you. Next up, the borough manager's report.
Okay, I'm going to share on the screen a little presentation that I put together for council regarding the budget. So we'll talk about that a little bit. I promise I'll keep this short, because we will have the budget on display for you, and the ability for you to look at the detailed budget. But what I just wanted to talk about here this evening was let's see. Should adjust here shortly. So the budget for Verona is
Put that one on so we could see, because it's kind of an awkward angle for us to see.
it's not working. It hasn't worked for several months. In general, as far as the overview of the revenue that the borough takes in. Oh, and before I start, I wanted to just mention that the finance committee met, consisting of Tim, Trish, and John. We met to review this more line by line, the budget, and talking about these high level items here that are being presented to the council here this evening. But the 2026 proposed budget, this does reflect a slow and steady revenue increase across the board. The borough's primary revenue sources are obviously going to be the real estate taxes as well as the earned income taxes. That remains, that doesn't change for this year's budget. That remains constant. We take in a significant amount of our revenue from the real estate collection. We take in less from our earned income, and those are our primary revenue sources that we have. We also have intergovernmental revenues that we take in both from the state and the county, like for winter maintenance and things like that help us offset some of our costs that we realize throughout the year across our different departments. This pie chart here, I thought was going to come across a lot better with the text at the bottom, but I'll read off what these colors kind of mean. This is just a visual representation. Whenever I was talking about how much we actually take in as far as our revenues go, that blue piece of the pie there to the right is really that's the lion's share of our budget. That represents about 47% of the revenues that we take in whenever the tax bills go out in March, and we start taking in our monies in April or so. We really rely very heavily on that revenue coming in order to function throughout the year for our police department and our public works operations. This brown area here towards the upper left corner represents the earned income tax. So you can see that's about half of our real estate collection. It might actually be a little less than half of what we take in there. So and then the last item here, the bigger, that bigger share there at the bottom, that has to do with our trash contract that we have. The borough bill, even though you get your bill through Oakmont Water, your trash bill there, the borough pays, we collect that revenue and then we pay that to the hauler through that. So it's kind of like a pass-through arrangement that we have with the hauler. We take in some other smaller, revenue sources here. This one, the other, larger one here, this darker brown is, again, that's that state shared revenue. So you can see we really only have 4 primary areas that we get our revenue from, and we have to make it really stretch throughout the year as a result of that. Our total revenue that we will be taking in this year is estimated to be $2,438,180. Of that, some of the key items in this year's budget is that will represent a $1,122,500 in real estate collection. The borough has a very high percentage of collection rate. This year's collection rate is around 97%. There's a lot of communities, especially in Allegheny County, that hover around the 90% mark. So the residents and property owners in the borough do very good at paying their taxes, and so the borough can rely on that revenue that comes in. Same for the earned income. You can see, as I mentioned, that's a little bit lower than what we take in there at $325,000. Again, we expect that to remain steady through 2026, and but again, that is a major source of revenue that we will rely on. I mentioned on here that in the 2026 budget there is $194,478 increase in the budget for the solid waste, and that's because the trash contract runs in, it splits the year. So, you're working off of the 24 and 25 contract right now. The 25 and 26 will go into about June 1st of next year. June 1st, there's an increase in that contract. So for 6 months, there will be an increase beginning June 1st that will reflect that increase in order for the borough to make up that additional $200,000 that's needed. Now, it will only be a reflection for those 6 months, but there will be an increase in the trash rate around the June 1st mark in order to take in that revenue.
Do you know how much it's gonna be?
I don't have the exact number right now, but I will have that. Again, it won't take effect until June 1st, but I'll be able to pass that along.
I mean, we're already paying almost $100 for 3 months.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, this contract has a pretty significant increase over as it renews each year. And that's been felt across. I mean, I'm not sure if you've seen in the papers, but a lot of communities had 40 to 50% increases in their trash bills each year. And that's a direct relation to the fact there's fewer people that are bidding on these jobs. Waste Management completely went out of business. They don't do any residential pickups anymore. So you were left with Noble, Vogel, BIU, or not BIU. Biggs. Yeah, Biggs is one that bids. But those, it's very few. Very few.
Same thing.
Yeah, no one's, yeah. So there's very few haulers, and so unfortunately, these smaller communities really do suffer from, the bidding arena for that. In addition, we see some decrease in revenue on our state grants, and that's just because we have not put those in the revenue. Those are pass-through accounts, and we didn't count those in the 2026 budget as a result of that. As far as some of the expenditures go, I mentioned about the solid waste contract would be expected a mid-year increase. It's not part of the general fund budget, but I just got a letter this week that the Alcosan is passing along a 7% increase on sewer bills as well. So there will be a 7% increase in sewer bills beginning January 1st that we will have to pass those on as well.
Alcosan does that every year.
Alcosan does, yes, 7%. So that 7% will need to be addressed. And again, that'll be through your sewer bill. Some of the administrative costs we expect to increase, based on the manager hire, early next year, as well as public safety costs are expected to increase with new hires. We've budgeted for the full complement of the full-time officers. We budgeted for a new vehicle next year, and we've budgeted for the equipment costs that go along with that to support the department. So those are some of the driving costs that we've included in this year's budget as a result. Again, just kind of like giving you a visual here of where the borough funds get spent for the majority. This orange in your bottom right-hand area there represents the police department. And that's really pretty typical of any police department. Around 46% of the budget is what that represents. So they're pretty much the lion's share of the operation there. You can see Public Works, a smaller piece of the pie here. We have our engineering services. This is Public Works right here. The lighter blue is administration. And then the purple is how much we spend on technology throughout to support the whole borough. So, and that includes a bunch of different fees like our internet, our phone service, computer support, all those kind of things. So where you would typically expect some of those costs to be located at. So just to highlight some of the major expenditures here. Personnel and benefit costs continue to be our primary expenses. So, our police officers, our public works employees, and office staff, those are our primary expenses throughout most of these departmental budgets. We do see some notable increases. I mentioned before about sanitation, police, and the administrative costs. Those are expected with the hires that we're expecting in that big increase that we saw in the sanitation. The decreases in intergovernmental revenue also means that we're spending a little less in those areas as well. And then a smaller transfer to the capital fund. Last year was around 200,000. This year will be about $135,000 in the budget. It's a little bit smaller, but we're still expecting there to be a transfer to the capital fund. Some things that the borough will be looking at heading into the end of the year to help tighten up the budget a little bit, make sure that we have, funds going into the 2026 years, tightening up spending for 2025. We are considering through the fee increase, an increase in the amusement device taxes from $750 to $1,000. That was discussed in the finance committee. Whenever we start getting to that full complement of officers with the full-time as well as the part-time complement of officers, we would expect that that's going to directly impact the overtime costs and drive those costs down. This budget reflects that. So the chief has done a good job. In fact, it's on the agenda tonight to hire 2 full-time officers, 1 part-time officer. And that's, as long as we continue to do that, we should be able to see that overtime budget staying in check. There is a recommendation in here to finance large capital purchases and to continue to finance those as we consider those, for that police car next year. Financing that is certainly something that the borough should consider, as well as any other large capital purchases that are out there. And then looking at the sewer fund to help relieve some of the general fund costs. The general fund has typically absorbed a lot of costs that are associated with that sewer system. We were talking with the bookkeeper this week about making sure that we are correctly charging that sewer fund whenever, like, the Public Works has a project, when there's time spent on sewer related efforts to help offset and keep, so that we are able to keep the general fund in check. That'll be something that we will continue to look at going into the end of this year as well as into 2026. The adoption timeline, the budget needs to be adopted by November 29th in order to be adopted at the December 9th meeting. We will proceed in that fashion, and the budget document will be available on public display after the meeting and all through the adoption date of December 9th. Mr. Chairman, that's all the items for the budget.
Thank you. Next thing. You have ticket payment online payments and County Borough Association.
Oh, yeah, sure. So if you've been unlucky enough to have got a ticket, you might have seen that we are now offering online ticket payments for those that get these tickets. The payment portal does accept credit card payments, and it also accepts payment by check. So you can pay by check online. If you pay by credit card, it's $3. If you pay by check, it's $1.50 extra for that. You can still drop off your payment, not in cash. We're working to not accept cash, but you can drop off your payment still at the window in order to avoid both of those fees if you'd like. But we are seeing a significant uptick in the online payments, which is really good. So folks, when the office isn't closed, they're able to pay those off hours. The next item is just announcing that the County Boroughs Association meeting is December 11th at 6 p.m. I'll be announcing to the board when that meeting is and asking if anybody would like to be attending. That's everything that I have, Mr. Chairman.
Very good. Thank you.
So you're saying that if we want to go on December 11th to the ACBA dinner, then we should let you know
Yes,
soon.
ASAP.
Okay, thank you.
Next up, Public Works report.
In your package, you see the Public Works report there for the month. Just grab that here real quick and go how busy the Public Works Department was there. I think some of the big things that I just like to call out on here is, the street sweeper has been a workhorse. It's been out this month 8 times. It went down once throughout the month, but it was down with a blown motor housing and is awaiting an estimate on that repair. So hopefully we get that done quickly, with the leaves falling relatively fast right now. There were 140 trash bags that were collected on average this month, mostly from ARB and some of those from some of the parks that were out there. There was some additional dock repairs that were made, as well as the vegetation was trimmed down around the dock area in anticipation of fall. Several manhole frames were picked up in conjunction with the sewer project, frames and covers. Penn Street received some millings, this month. And, finished that, job off ahead of winter. The F600 was inspected, the F550 was inspected and was found to have an oil leak. Unfortunately, we had a $200 repair bill that went along with that. Oakmont Water had a damaged storm pipe on Arch that, at Sheridan that the Public Works Department helped to assist them. Cribs Field got cut twice, several of the public parcels got cut. The leaf box and back machine were installed on the truck and the machine was lubed and the oil was changed in the machine, getting ready for leaf collection. I believe they've been out doing that already. Has anybody noticed them out?
Yes.
Please.
So we see the street sweeper anymore.
Very nice.
Oh, there's no more street sweeping. just
Because
leaf
they do the leaf back and then they start plowing the snow.
Perfect. Good. The electrical issue that we've been having on Allegheny River Boulevard, the crew brought another electrician in to try to help locate where that break is. The next thing is they're bringing in some machine to push some fluid through it in order to try to help us with that. It still cannot be located above ground with a locator. We believe that the conduit is broken underneath, but we still can't locate that. We're trying to avoid having to dig that up. So if we can somehow try to figure out a way to do that without digging it up, that's the goal. Cribs Field bathroom door and the swing was repaired up there. The creek basin at Selden Avenue was cleared out from debris. I think just in time with some of the storms that we had come through. Concrete repair was made at the Cribs Field sidewalk. AJ went to the salt contract meeting. I believe that we're paying around $86 a ton this year for rock salt. So he has already placed orders for 2 loads and the salt bin is full for the start of the season.
Question, do you know how that $86 compares to past years?
It's typically between $80 and $85. So we're up a tick with if it's at 86, it's either at 86 or $88.
Okay.
Yep. The crew cleaned Wildwood Avenue, helping to manage some of the stormwater and groundwater that was coming off the hill. That'll be a plus for winter maintenance as well. Light pole safety screws were changed out and they patched the roof and the eave at the Borough building, including replacing those 2 sets of lines. So. And that's everything from Public Works.
Thank you. Code enforcement, the reports here.
It's impressive.
Next up would be police chief report, Chief Dusser.
As you can see, for the month of October, 234 calls, up from this time last year. I should say September. Arrests are slightly down, but the calls are up. So nothing noteworthy took place during the month of October. But as you can see, money's collected, revenue's up with regards to parking tickets. And fines and fees collected from the Court of Common Pleas and Magistrate's Office. Some notable things placed in the month of October. As some of my correspondence with council, the camera at Center and ARB is being fixed. Through the purchase of $1,300 to fix that camera. It's in the budget. So hopefully within the next week or 2, that's fixed. We're a little behind the company we use. I'm in the process of redoing the department's website. I'm hoping to have it up Friday. Fingers crossed if I can get a chance to work with Jason Sarah from I can't remember the company. GovUnity. So we're gonna do some interactive things on the website. There'll be a link for requesting police reports, traffic accident reports, paying parking tickets, filing tips, stuff like that. I'm trying to make it more user friendly and up to date. Also, I'm in the process of changing how we do accident reports, making all electronic, no more paper. So if you have an accident, we'll give you a number, a card. It says here, go to this website, and they have to pay the fee. They get automatically sent the accident report, and the borough gets the $15. So I'm in talks with 2 different vendors. I spoke to Penn Hills about what they do. I'm probably gonna go a similar route. It's more efficient and it takes up the middleman. Also in the process updating computers, operating systems Windows 10, we need to have Windows 11. In doing so, our main computer that houses our record management system can be updated, so it has to be replaced. Jason was made aware of it. That's supposed to be done this week. I'm not sure what the timeline is, that they're busy as well, but it's gonna be done by the end of the month. I made it a priority because it houses all our records. In your package, you saw that in the process of updating badges and fire department logo. Badges, if you look at it, it's actually more historically accurate to Verona. The old train station with the current municipal building and the train. Just something new and different. There is monies for it that for the initial cost of getting the badges, the die cap to be made for the badges, and then we have to purchase so many. In that lot, or the mayor's request will be retirement badges for Barry and Sean, but that's gonna take a couple months to do. So we're looking to do that. Also to help offset the cost, I'm looking to do a t-shirt fundraiser, department t-shirts, we've never done them before. In the process of asking a couple of companies for costs, specs, and then we'll go from there. I want to thank civil service. They have done more than they've ever done before. Thank you, Mary. In getting people tested, and through the process. I know we talked a lot, and she's probably getting tired of talking to me. But thank you, Mary. You guys have done an awesome job. And now we have 3 potential alternates, which is great. If someone can't make it, we can just plow ahead and keep moving forward. Thank you, Aaron. We received new body cameras, free of charge. They're upgraded, so we have those in place. And then we are purchasing 2 more. That's already been budgeted. So we'll have a full complement of 8 body cameras, so that each officer can have one assigned to them. And you don't have to worry about signing it in and out. We'll have your name and your information on it. So anything else?
It's nice work, Chief. Thank you. Next up, Fire Chief report, Chief T.
Good evening, Council. You have the detailed report in your packets, just to summarize for the month of October. The fire company answered a total of 16 calls. They include 1 possible structure fire, 2 extinguished fires, 3 calls for smoke in the structure, 1 natural gas odor, 1 natural gas leak, 2 commercial fire alarms, 2 residential fire alarms, 2 vehicle accidents, 2 EMS assists. We provide mutual aid to 7 calls in Penn Hills, 1 call in Farmer, 1 call in Oakmont, and 1 call in.
What do you want to do for Dan? Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, Mayor, Lisa, for the 20th, you know.
Or the, yeah, for Santa on the fire truck.
Yeah.
Yes.
We will be taking Santa around on the fire truck on December 20th,
That's a Saturday,
starting at 11 a.m.
11, yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Next up, the EMS report. The report's here. Anybody has any questions? Next up will be the solicitor's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. I did supply a written report. It is in the packet, and just wanted to provide an update on number 2 with regard to the code enforcement matter I referenced on Spruce Street. I did indicate that I would reach out to the sons of the deceased owner of the property. Attempted to do that. I haven't made contact with that individual yet, so as soon as I do, I'll continue to keep mayor and council informed with regard to my efforts on that matter.
Very
So I
good.
have a report.
Thanks, Mr. Alexander.
Well,
Next up would be the engineer's report, Mr. Pitch.
Thank you, Mr. President. A few updates from my written report. The demolitions are moving along. 204 West Railroad and 473 Union Street are down. The sites are graded and seeded, and they're supposed to be moving on to 812 First Street this week. So hopefully by the end of the week, that will be done as well.
Finally, huh?
Yeah.
It's been a long road.
So, and then in regards to the sewer work that's been going on, we were made aware of the issue with the traffic control. There is traffic control in the contract. They were supposed to be using it on their discretion. Not all the manholes are in the middle of the road. If they were able to be off to the side of the road, they were informed they didn't need to do it. We did have a conversation with them about the incident and today and tomorrow they'll be working along center and continuing to use flaggers. So that Tom brought that to our attention and we did have a conversation with them. So that should be fixed moving forward. And I do apologize for the mix up with that.
Are they doing Fourth Street also?
Yes, they have to, there's a buried manhole. If you go up Fourth Street to the right, not sure the block number there, but there's about a 300-foot stretch that there's a buried manhole, so they have to.
That's Verona's, because I know the street's Penn Hills.
That stretch of the sewer line is because it's like sits right in the curb line there. That's also the stretch that we've had some root issues in the past. So
Right.
they have to uncover the manhole and then put a liner in that as well.
Gotcha. Thank you.
The GDTF road reconstruction work that is done, the initial budget came in under budget enough that it allowed us to add the Powerhouse Alley, and then the intersection of ARB and Union Street and ARB and South onto it. So we're still gonna come in a few $100s under what the initial contract amount was, but we were able to add a lot more work to that project. So that was pretty successful. Talking with the pavers, we have a few streets around town have been milled. They're looking for paving around the 17th. Oakmont Water did contact me. There's a couple service lines in Sylvan that they're getting on. So those will be replaced ahead of time before we pave. Luckily, we made that communication so they're not digging into a brand new roadway. So that worked out pretty well. And then as far as Arch Street, Oakmont Water has a couple services to finish up, and then hopefully by the end of this week, the final patches will start being done.
Question, if I may, about that whole project. There, Sheridan is also pretty messed up. That I don't think is part of the grant to pay Arch Street or patch Arch Street or whatever is gonna happen. That's on Oakmont Water, I believe.
Correct. I'll be working with them. Initially, Sheridan wasn't part of their project, but then when they got down there, they extended their project slightly. So we'll be working with them on that restoration.
Okay, thank you.
And then under new business, item number 9 is a resolution to apply for the 2025 state LSA statewide funding for the Riverbank Park upgrades to create some additional parking and supply restrooms down there.
Very good, Matt. Thank you. Do you have any questions for Matt?
Is that following the recommendation of Parks Planning, or is that just what we're not previously?
It was not awarded previously. The park planning met with Parks and Rec last night, so that's still underway. So it's not a finalized plan to present that at this time. It's just been a project that's been going on for 4 or 5 years that we haven't been able to find funding for.
Yeah, that's a good one, thank you.
Anybody else? Thanks, Matt. Next up, Ms. Redden.
Thank you, Mr. President. The newly merged Strategic Planning and Community Relations Committee meeting will hold our next and final meeting for the year next Wednesday, November 19th at 4 p.m. in Council Chambers and on Zoom. We're re-inviting back our wonderful engineer Matt Fish to do a deep dive into our multimodal transportation fund for 2024, which is the Arch Street project. We'll hopefully have a few members of the public in attendance as well who have come to council meetings recently with questions and concerns in regards to traffic calming in that area. That's all I have for this evening. Thank you.
Thanks, Trish. Next up, Nancy, Public Safety.
Thank you. Not too much to talk about tonight. I did have a note to myself about the text messages. And that was from the meeting in October. And I'm gonna get with Jason and maybe a couple other people and we can sort that all out. I also noticed that there were, in your report, in the DPW report, they talked about trying to figure out all those lights in a row on the one side, and they haven't yet been able to figure that out. But I just wondered if when those people were there, were they also looking at the other lights that are not lighting up and the two that are laying down in the garage and how to put them back up?
Not the two that are laying in the garage, but they did look at the other ones that are out. So,
And
and I don't know what the solution was, but that's-
You talking about the one on film?
I'm talking about the ones on Center. There's one on Center by Get-Go that doesn't light up, right?
It's at Center and East Railroad across from Boulevard, and then there's one at Enterprise on Center at Diamond.
So we're following up with Get-Go for the one on their side, because I talked to AJ. They're on a breaker with Get-Go. They're not on the Burroughs breakers.
My understanding, when they put Get-Go in, if I remember correctly, they paid for those lights to match across the street.
They did.
Yeah,
And
so that's kind of like, well, I guess what I'm saying is that's on them, I presume.
That's what we're working through.
Yeah.
I know talking with AJ, those poles are not on any of the Burroughs
Right.
controllers. So we just have to work with them.
Making a little bit of progress.
Yeah.
At least on that one. I don't know about the other ones, but. Okay. Keep looking into that. Next meeting for public safety is going to be on Tuesday, November 18th, a week from today at 5:30. Here in the Borough Building and also on Zoom. Unless anybody, I just, no, I'll wait. We're gonna be discussing these first few minutes, so I'll wait to talk about then. That's it for me for tonight. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Next up would be Mr. Floto.
Hello, I had both my Parks and Properties meeting and Parks and Recreation Board meeting last night, so I couldn't really put anything on the agenda, but I will have a couple things for the workshop meeting at the end of the month. I have nothing at this moment.
Thanks, Vince. Next up would be Timmy Long. Nothing this time. Next up would be John Jamelis.
So last week, the Personnel Committee convened and we interviewed a part-time police officer candidate by the name of Michael Santucci. We're gonna be voting, we're gonna put a motion for a hire this evening. Also, wanted to let everyone know, we're gonna have our last Personnel Committee meeting for the year next week on the 19th at 6 p.m. We are going to be continuing to work on the handbook to try to finish it up. Hopefully, get it in operation. I would like to try to get an operation here in January if we can. And also the other big item would be the citizen complaint policy. I would like to review that and hopefully get it into a motion for a vote at the next workshop meeting. So that's going to be on the table at the Personnel Committee meeting next Wednesday, 6 p.m. live here and on Zoom. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Next up would be Sylvia Provenza.
Thank you, Mr. President. I actually had the same information that Trish did. We have now been put in with strategic planning. And I had down that we would be meeting on Wednesday, November the 19th.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Special committees, Ms. Provenza again, Alon.
Yes, I spoke with them and right now they have nothing new on the agenda except that they are starting to work on the 2026 Spring Educational Conference. And the date is April 9th through the 12th. And they said they will have more information as the time goes by. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up would be COG. As Matt indicated, the three houses we got through COG, the grants, they're starting to be tore down or have, most of them are down, waiting for one more. And they come out of their budget, everything's good over there. We meet, on the 23rd. We meet again on the 26th. Old business none, ordinary items. I'll take a motion to approve the bills from October 25.
I got a motion.
1 second.
Motion by Mr. Long, second by Dr. Carpenter. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Passed. Next, I need a motion to approve the minutes of September 9th and September 23rd.
Make that motion.
Dr. Carpenter,
I'll second.
Mr. Jamelis, are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Passed. New business action items. I'm gonna take a motion to appoint Karen Rodriguez as an alternate to the Civil Service Commission.
I'll make that.
Hold on, please. The borough received a letter of interest from Karen Rodriguez for the alternate position with the Civil Service Commission. The candidate's background information has been provided for council's consideration. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the candidate followed by any discussion. I move to appoint Karen Rodriguez to the alternate member position on the Civil Service Commission.
Make that motion.
Motion by Ms. Carpenter,
Second.
second by Mrs. Provenza. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Passed. Next up, I'll need a motion to appoint Sandy Dubricki Bell. The borough received a letter of interest from Sandy Dubricki Bell for the alternate position with the Civil Service Commission. The candidate's background information has been provided for council's consideration. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the candidate, followed by any discussion. I move to appoint Sandy Dubricki Bell to the alternate member position on the Civil Service Commission.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Jamelis, second by Ms. Carpenter. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Passed. Next up, we're gonna do a motion to appoint Leah Wilson as an alternate. Borough received letters of interest from Leah Wilson for the alternate position with Civil Service Commission. Candidate's background information has been provided for council's consideration. This time, I would entertain a motion to approve the candidate, followed by any discussion. I move to, what?
Keep reading the motion.
Okay, that's not what I was told, but okay.
What's that?
Go ahead, somebody make a motion.
I move to appoint Leah Wilson to the alternate member position on the Civil Service Commission.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Carpenter, second by Mrs. Provenza. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. I'm gonna have a motion to accept the retirement from Sergeant Francos. Council received a retirement letter from Sergeant Jerry Francos on October 31st, 2025. Jerry has served the borough for over 20 years with honor and distinction and has been a valuable member of the department. We wish him well. We'll entertain a motion to accept Jerry's resignation.
Move to accept Sergeant Jerry Franco's retirement effective October 31st, 2025.
Motion by Dr. Carpenter,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Redzak. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Passed. Next, I'm going to take motions to approve the hiring of full-time patrolman Jonathan Priest and Jordan Russell. The Civil Service Commission has recommended for hire 2 police officers, Jonathan Priest and Jordan Russell. Chief Desel has provided council with background information on these individuals for council's consideration.
I move to hire Jordan Rosilli and Jonathan Priest to the position of full-time patrolman.
I'll second.
If I could.
Motion by Dr. Carpenter, second by Mrs. Provenza. Are there any questions?
One question. Yeah. These two gentlemen are, just the language here, but there's no problem there. I just wanted to say it's a conditional hire pending their graduation from the academy and the completion of all their certifications. That's all.
Okay,
But yes.
any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Next, I need a motion to approve the hiring of part-time patrolman Michael Santucci.
I'll make that.
Police Chief Dessa has interviewed and recommended to hire Michael Santucci for the position of part-time police officer. Background information for this individual has been provided for council's consideration.
I'll make that motion.
First by Mr. Jamelis,
I'll second.
second by Dr. Carpenter. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Next, we're gonna take a motion to approve the lease of a second police vehicle at a cost of $56,528, including uplift costs at an interest rate of 5.89 for 4 years. The chief has provided vehicle lease purchase information for a second police vehicle at a cost of $56,528 with an interest rate of 5.89 for 4 years. I will entertain a motion at this time for action.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Dr. Carpenter,
Second.
second by Ms. Redzak. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I had one. I mean, we had talked about it in the finance. I said it at the last meeting. That we should wait. Because Jason was gonna look into maybe possibly a state grant that could help pay for this car, but. He's not gonna have a chance to do that if he goes to buy a car today, so. That's my piece. I don't think it's in the budget, but.
My understanding is, there were some revisions made and it's in the budget now.
It's in the 26 budget for payment, for recommended payment to be made later in the year. But it is in the 26 budget for the second vehicle purchase.
And I also wanted to draw people's attention how important it is for public safety to have reliable vehicles to go to calls that are making. And we all received several emails from the chief of what's going on with their vehicles. And they keep having to be brought to the mechanic to be fixed at a large amount of money to fix those cars. And yeah, this is a lot of money. Last time I did some calculations with the police budget, we were well under budget for the year 2025. So I think it's important for us to get this second vehicle. And well, that's basically say about that.
Jason, are we that much under budget on the police budget?
The police budget is under mainly due to wages not being laid out there, primarily in one of the sergeant's areas there. I just to clarify, when we were talking about this before, the borough is into a lease now. We've made that initial lease payment for the first vehicle that's out there. We had this initial discussion. I always think that it's, if you can push off these lease payments as much as you can, not have two at the same time in the same year, because when both of these vehicles come up due in the future, you're gonna be right back in the same jackpot, right? Where you have to, replace them at the same time. Now, my earlier recommendation was to hold off a year if you could, right? So really just try to space these out, not have two lease payments at the within that same period of time. So because I do think that's next year's budget is around 32,000 is what we budgeted for that. So, and we didn't budget that for this year, but it's just a lot for this budget to absorb at the same time. We just got into this first lease, but again, we don't know the extent of the repair that's necessary yet, either, so, and we are down one vehicle, so, there's that to contend with as well for you all to consider.
Chief, when did you say that new car is going in for service? So, you know, to get up
I'll
to
put
it,
it any day now.
and did they give you a time frame on
It's the
that?
end. They told me tentatively by the end of November, beginning of December, but that's not a given. It's the end of the year. Everyone's in a rush to get stuff done. So,
So to clarify, how many working police vehicles do we have at this moment?
There's two of them out there. Well, the one. that-
there's two, but they're in bad shape.
And the one that you mostly depend on, I believe, has to go into the
Thursday for
Thursday
issues, yes.
for potentially $5,000.
I don't know what that is, but. I mean,
Whatever,
It's gonna be an issue.
several thousand
So we'll solely rely on one car that is inadequate.
that also needs more work to make it whole. If you add up all the money that we would be using potentially for maintenance of these two cars, it almost equals a lease payment. Not quite, but almost. I personally would rather just get a new reliable car where we don't have to keep maintaining it. And my other thought is that I hear what you're saying, Jason, about them going along parallel, but we all know that if you go by a Honda or Toyota or a Ford or whatever, at the same time, you may have one that lasts for 3 years and another one that lasts for 5 years, or whatever the numbers, I'm just hypothetically speaking. So we don't know for sure that both of these cars that we're buying at the same time are gonna crap out at the same time. We don't know that. So I think it's more important that the police be able to ride around town in a vehicle that's dependable, and at some point, we're gonna try to have 2 police officers on at a time, is that correct?
At least 75% of the day, yes, that's my ultimate goal.
So we would wanna have 2 very reliable vehicles for those 2 police officers to drive around town.
It's also a matter of public safety, isn't it?
Well, that's what I'm saying,
One
Jeff.
car must be backup.
Yeah.
They're gonna take a scooter from a theater company to get the call,
Yeah,
like it doesn't make any sense. Like, we're gonna run,
Right.
how's that work?
So, yes, it's an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. I know it's expensive, but I think we need to.
We really can't be in a position where we're only gonna be down to one vehicle. And.
We're gonna be down.
Let everybody know that this is not that. We could still be down to one vehicle, we could be down to no vehicle, because we could purchase a vehicle today, it's not coming for 2+ months.
Well, better start listening.
Jason,
Still
one
gonna be
last,
paying for mechanics for the next 2 months, so.
one last question. Are there any grants, that you're familiar with right now that would be worth, looking into for covering these people?
I mean, the LSA grant right now that we're putting in for the
Yeah.
The concurrent resolution today for the perk. That's an eligible, that would be an eligible
Yeah.
one for that one's open for anything, right? But that would be one of the few that I'm aware of that would be available for this, and we wouldn't know the status of a grant like this until sometime next year. Could be September of next year, when they make those announcements, so.
the problem with them now is that they don't have a budget, so. They're kind of in a.
Jason, does
they're kind of
grants,
in a standstill.
do grants, did they pay, when they come through next year, did they pay off a lease?
Typically, they're not for things that you've purchased already. Now, a lease has future payments, so there may be a way to word that grant to pay for the remainder, of that, but it does need to qualify, so that would be a question that I'd have to ask. I'm not 100% sure. I think that normally they want you to have something that is either on Co-Stars or something along those lines, because these vehicles are on Co-Stars, but normally they don't want to be paying something that you've already purchased.
Thank you. Anybody?
Jason, excuse me, right? You advise waiting a little bit to see if we can find it. I don't mean months and months, I mean a little block of time.
I'd like to point out, I'm sorry, Sylvia, apparently this car that's indicated here in our paperwork is kind of on a time limit.
Oh, I know that. I
Yeah,
understand.
so
That's why I said a
yeah,
very small block of time.
You have a
If I could add, after next week, they're gonna release the car.
so
Oh, okay.
They could only hold it for 3 weeks at the dealership.
Oh,
My other comment to that would be, we don't know how much the repair cost is on the transmission yet, and. I mean, in an ideal situation, if the car wasn't being, held up or things like that. I mean, I would want to know how much that repair cost is going to be, so, before I would make that decision, and then maybe.
Well, if you recall, in September, I wrote council a letter concerning that vehicle, the Black Ford Explorer 2018. With the 3 main issues at hand, that could eventually be a problem. There are thousands of dollars fixing it. That's not including 2 recalls that haven't been addressed since last year.
What I was gonna ask you, is this part of the recall?
No, it is not part of the recall, so it still needs to go in the garage for a month to 2 months. And McDade's is trying to get authorization from a dealership to do those repairs, so they can fix everything all one fell swoop, and we don't have to go back and forth between the dealership and McDade's. They have not got authorization yet. So regardless, that vehicle is going away. Once we get another functioning cruiser in the rotation, it's going away for a couple months.
Okay.
And as I recall with the silver car, we got approximately a little under $1,000 worth of work done. But so it could run, but there's additional work that needs to be done on that car to bring it to full functioning. It's a 2016.
Right.
Yeah. So who knows what could happen to that silver car? And if it happens before we get our new car, while the black car's in the shop and the silver car craps out, we'll have no cars and we'll be using super, so.
Okay, anybody else?
well, if it's a transmission, I'm not a mechanic, but I know it's not cheap. It's a transmission. I know that.
Anybody else? All in favor? I think we need to take a roll call vote, please.
Councilman Long,
No.
Councilman Jamelis.
Aye.
Dr. Carpenter,
Yes.
Councilwoman Redseck,
Yes.
President Sulich.
Due to the budget and the timing, I'm gonna abstain. I'm abstaining.
You can't just abstain if you want to abstain.
I'm abstaining because I want to abstain. I'm allowed to abstain.
Yeah, you can.
Councilman Florida.
Am I allowed to abstain?
It says right in Robert's rules of, right in Robert's rules of order that you have a duty to vote, however, you can't compel that vote. You have a requirement to abstain, there's a conflict. This isn't a conflict, so if you're choosing to vote, you're saying that you don't have an opinion on it. You can't form an opinion on it. You are allowed not to vote and abstain. Robert's rules of order says that.
The reason, I just don't want to put council's budget next year into jeopardy, and that's why. I'll change my vote to yes.
No, nobody's suggesting.
Well, if there's gonna be an issue, I don't want an issue.
You're allowed to abstain. I wrote an opinion on it. I think I may have written an opinion here in Verona years ago on this very issue.
I'm changing mine to yes, Jason.
Councilman Florida,
I feel that this is fiscally irresponsible to do at this point, so I will vote no.
and Councilwoman Provenza.
Yes.
What passes? 5-2.
Very good. Next up, we have a motion to authorize the chief to sign an agreement with the Office of Attorney General for Drug Task Force participation.
And I forgot to mention that in my report, I apologize. We were approached by the Office of the Attorney General. They want to work with us on some cases. We'll just be honest, it's gun and drug cases. Here in the borough, and in order to do that, we have to sign a working agreement. They pay for it. initially, the borough would pay, and then they would reimburse the borough at the overtime rate for officers. That's it in a nutshell.
Okay,
So, and they've done this years past. The agreement has lapsed for some years, so this is just a formality, just to bring it to your attention, you know, to get this ball rolling.
very good. Thank you.
I move to authorize the chief of police to sign the task force agreement with the attorney general's office.
Second.
First by Dr. Carpenter, second by Mr. Provenza. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Passed. Next is the motion to concurring LSA resolution for parking expansion, restroom installation, and pickleball court at a cost of $175,660. The borough will be applying for a grant to expand parking and install restrooms at the pickleball courts. The grant requires a resolution acknowledging the application being made.
I make that motion.
I'll say.
Motion by Mr. Long, second by Mr. Jamelis. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Next up, newsletter, Mr. Provenza.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Newsletter is at the printers right now, and it should be in your mailboxes very, very soon. We're currently working on our spring edition, and that's going to cover March, April, and May. Ads and articles are due on Sunday, February the 1st. And for articles, you can contact Dawn McWard. And he can be reached at 412-828-3607 or at veronanewsletter@gmail.com. And I can be reached for ads at 412-828-7726. Chamber of Commerce, our next meeting is going to be held on Tuesday, November the 18th at 7 p.m. here in the Borough Building. And Chief Tom, because you're our president of the chamber, I would ask, do you have any comments or any information that you would like?
We're having a small activity before the parade on the 22nd of November. And then we are doing our own separate quote unquote night activity on Saturday, December 6th. We'll have a shuttle bus going around town, picking people up at various locations to bring them down to the park here, and it should be a good time.
Thank you. The next would be Twin Borough Ministries. The next community dinner will be held on Wednesday, November the 26th. And it will be hosted by the Borough Methodist Church. Also, the Joy Barnes and the Friends from Oakmont are going to be preparing those dinners. Working Society, our next meeting is going to be held on Thursday, November the 20th at 7 p.m. here in the Borough Building. And the guest speaker is going to be Beth Harpaleni, and she will be speaking on the history of Vandergrift. And all are always welcome. Do you have any questions or comments? Not, that concludes my reports, and I thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Next up, comments from the public. This time, council will hear comments on public related items. Please approach the podium or raise your virtual hand. State your name and address and limit your comments to 3 minutes, please.
This is just a suggestion, it's not a comment. Since they're gonna be tearing down the house on First Street at 812, can we notify Verner Elementary so that they can notify the families? They have a lot of families that walk along that street. And it, you know, so that they're aware of it, that they cross the other side.
Jason, can you
And
do
there'll
that,
be
please?
extra traffic.
Thank you. Jason, will take care of it.
Matt, do you know what time they'll be starting that demo?
I'll call them tonight if I can't get a hold of them. I'll
And let
talk to them. They're
the
saying-
manager know,
Yeah.
so he can tell the school not to have it going on.
Anybody else?
Last week.
Sandy Ricky Bell, Third Avenue. Northern I was just wondering, according to this conclusion management plan that you all given in October of 2024, I'm wondering where you are on the capital improvement plan. Because on page 20, it has several no later than dates. And one of the things it has is create vehicle and equipment replacement schedules no later than March 31st. Okay, March 31st. I sat at a meeting here on October 28th, the workshop meeting. There was a hefty discussion about the police car. I sitting here at this meeting tonight, another hefty discussion about the police car. I don't understand, if you had, is this even created? Did you do this by March 31st? Did you create the replacement schedule? Because this shouldn't be any big surprise to anybody here. Also, you made a motion for the pickleball restaurant. And on this schedule, it says to prepare submit project request forms. That was supposed to be due by April 30th. So was there a request form given for that? Also, prepare capital project list to be reviewed by the finance committee by May 15th. Was that even done? And you're taking $175,660 taxpayer money.
We're applying for a grant.
Grant application.
You don't have a grant yet.
No.
But you made the motion for the parking expansion and restroom.
Now, can you explain that, please?
The motion was just to pass the resolution that
Okay.
authorizes us to request the grant funds.
Okay. But I go right back, was there a project request form completed? Is there a vehicle replacement schedule? Was that done by council? That's in the capital improvement plan on page 20. So you're making all these decisions. And you don't even have the capital improvement plan work on. That's truly a disappointment. Some of you have been reelected for another 4 years. Some of you have 2 more years to complete. And you're messing with the taxpayers. Personally, that doesn't make me a happy camper. I'm also not a happy camper when I received a phone call from one of you in front of me, I won't mention names, I'll provide that courtesy, asking me about my sincerity and integrity about being on the Civil Service Commission. So I'm standing in front of you to tell you that had I not been told by your incompetent prior borough manager that I was going to have a public interview to accept an alternate position on the Civil Service Commission, you would have had my request back in April. I did not appreciate the council person who made a phone call to me to question my integrity and sincerity in doing this. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Evening, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Calvin O'Neill. And I'm with Ms. Nightmare, what you want to say? Live at 428 Wildwood Avenue. There's been a house next to me, 426, that's been vacant for a long, long time. And it's an eyesore for me and our community. And I'm getting tired of having to cut part of their grass to keep my place open. What can we do about this? Miss Monroe had some property down here. There was some canned garbage rubber, they made it fine and everything to her right away. She took care of it. But this is an eyesore for a long time. I'm quite sure everybody rides past Wildwood Avenue. You can't miss it,
No, you can't.
okay? And it's an eyesore.
Yes, it is.
And if we I mean, y'all had problems, I mean, you know, you don't want that by your house. Right?
Right.
And what can we do about it? This is, I'm getting fed up with it.
What was the address?
426 Wildwood Avenue.
Are you directly adjacent to that piece of?
Right next to it.
So the next property is 424.
428.
My house is 428.
You can't miss it.
If you have
You
any,
can't miss.
sir, if you have any interest in acquiring that property,
Yeah.
there's a program in Allegheny County called the Vacant Property Recovery Program. And if you live directly adjacent to a dilapidated property where the taxes haven't been paid for more than 3 years, you can submit an application to the Vacant Property Recovery Program in Allegheny County. And unfortunately, they're very backed up. It might take 8 months to a year for them to get through the application process with you, but they will sell you that piece of property for nominal consideration, somewhere between $2,000, $3,000 maybe, and it's yours. And then it becomes comes back on the tax rolls. You can do with it what you'd like. You can keep it as a side yard. If you want to put a garage on it, you can do that, but you would have to put the two lots together.
Right, but here's the question. What if they just pay the taxes and don't do nothing to it? I mean, they can pay the taxes and, you know.
Jason, can you send BIU down there, please? I didn't see it on it. I saw 424, but
I brought this up at the last month's meeting, I think, in regards to this. We're just citing these people, you know, at least once a month. We continue to cite them and cite them through our code enforcement.
The problem that you have with that, though, is like on the Spruce Street property, the owners are deceased. So you really can't cite the heirs right now unless you somehow invoke that. Whatever, what's the Blight and Reclamation Act. I'll look at that myself to see if those taxes are paid.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for listening to me.
thank you, sir.
Excuse me,
Send our code
counsel.
enforcement people down there. Anybody
Counsel.
else?
Ray, somebody wants to speak, but they don't know how to find the raise hand button. So Heather Fern wants to speak, I believe.
Yes, this is Heather Fern, 558 Bruce Street. I just wanted to know if there was an update about the sidewalk repair on Center Avenue and the corner of Center Avenue and Second.
I know that the property owner, and it's in our codes report, that the property owner has been issued notices, and I believe it's elevated to citation at this point.
I just was concerned because that is the bus stop for the high school students, and with the weather approaching, it's going to start filling with ice and snow and really be a hazard.
There's a handicapped child that uses that corner.
Been that up for months. Is there anything we can do temporarily, fix it or put some on there?
While we work to enforce the existing ordinance right now, at some point, we will be able to decide if council wants to spend resources and make that repair. And then try to recover that once the, property sells by putting a lien or something like that on the property. But right now,
I believe there's already a lien on that property.
yeah, right now, we're just in the process though of making sure that we have something that gives us the ability to actually do that.
I think the current ordinance allows the borough to make repairs on the sidewalk and lean the property, doesn't it?
Not sure.
I remember this months ago
Months
that any public safety building or structure or anything sidewalks, if it is.
I believe it does.
If it is dangerous, it can be addressed by the borough.
And just put a lien against it.
I said it about the house on North.
Let's do it then.
Council wants to make a motion to authorize some action on that.
Yes,
We can't make a motion right now though, because it's not an action item
forward.
for workshop.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, could we make it an emergency additional agenda item?
It's not a
Beyond
emergency. Under that recent Commonwealth Court case, it's very difficult to find it what a true emergency is.
Okay. And my other question is, not to have bad news happening, but can we fix it in this weather?
Sure,
We can.
you can put concrete down in this weather, they just gotta put additives in it.
Is it supposed to warm up by the end of the week?
Yeah.
All right, good to know.
Could we fix it and then ratify it at the next meeting?
What's that?
Can
Dennis?
we fix that and ratify it at the next meeting?
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
That's always a possibility.
Well, then I think that we should just do that.
The word ratify remind me of something. Didn't we do something on email we need to ratify at this meeting?
Yes.
What was it?
It was the payout.
Cherries.
Yes. Yes. Want to make sure.
We'll have to do that at the workshop too.
Oh, did we say something about our exec session?
I'm good. Thank you. Anybody else?
Don Moore, 636 Third Avenue. Just want to ask a question. How many active funds besides the super fund does this borough have?
The funds,
Like the sewer fund, yeah, money going into an account to offset, down the road situations. For example, wasn't there a fire truck fund or something at one time?
I think that got absorbed into.
I think they could-
And all the money got paid out of it, and there was actually a talk about putting money back into that, once the budget could support it.
That's what I'm talking about. There's talk going on here, but there's no action.
That truck just got paid off last
It
year.
got paid off and it's not in the budget right now.
Well,
We have already told, we have a capital plan, he told you about that, that's the second, actually the third, general, sewer, capital. Those are the three funds that the borough has.
what, the sewer fund and what was the
Sewer fund, the general fund, capital fund.
capital?
You know, liquid fuels.
the liquid fuels is the other one the state puts some money into for.
Mostly state.
Could be, feasible to think of other funds to start putting small amounts in and letting it build up. Instead of, depending on grants all the time. I mean, grants are harder to get as time goes on here and, I don't think we should depend on grants alone. I mean, I don't know how far we can kick the ball down the road without hitting a brick wall. I don't want to someday wake up and find out that the taxes are gonna be raised 20-30% like in some other, areas around here. If we can't afford if we can't afford a car, police car, if we have to debate that, that's telling me that we're in trouble financially. I think that, it would be fair, more lenient, less, harmful if we raise our taxes slowly. Not 20%, not 10%. Just a few mils, to pay for those kind of things. And I can absorb things, we can absorb things gradually, but not all at once. And I think that's what's gonna happen down the road. If we keep kicking that ball down the road, we're gonna run into trouble, financial. So I want you guys to think about that and be honest with us, and I think we can absorb your decision if it's logical. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to mention we had an exec session prior to this meeting on personnel. At this time, I'm gonna take a motion to adjourn.
One quick thing, I wanted to go back real quick. Under section 215-9 in the E code 360, repairs. If at any time, in the opinion of the council, street commissioner or police, a dangerous condition exists in any sidewalk in the borough that can be repaired, a notice shall be served on the owner of the property abutting such sidewalk or the agent of such property, the owner, or the premises abutting such sidewalk shall be posted, stating that necessary repairs should be made within 48 hours of such notice. Should the property owner fail, neglect, or refuse to make such repairs within the time specified in the notice, the borough shall have the authority to cause such repairs to be made and collect the cost thereof, with 10% additional as provided by law.
That's a good, great find, John.
Yeah. So, we can do it. All right.
All right, take a motion. Motion by Tim, second by John. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Passed.